Hello, 8:41 where I'm at. So I have a beautiful day, beautiful weather. Where I'm at, the sun is shining, and all I can say, if you live in these snowy places in the east, move west, California, Nevada, all these states. And if you miss any relatives, so what? You can always go back and visit. Probably don't even see them that much anymore. Anyway, so that excuse, my relatives are here, that's not necessary. Listen, I have a long poem for you today. It's kind of a short story. If you don't have the patience for 7 to 8 minutes, don't listen, okay? So I'm going to begin. Hello, my name is Jessy. I have a tale for you on this fine day. You see, I was once a slave in the land called Egypt on the continent of Africa long ago, when death was as common as a simple cold, and the desert was as hot as a cauldron. Now do listen closely. I used to get up very early in the morning and go to work on a grand pyramid ever so tall. No one ever heard my cries or any of my moans, and in my heart all the pain and so much remorse. The pyramid could be seen from miles away, I dare say. It was larger than life, and it was our town's pride. And our daily painful work, we wanted it to last for lifetimes, and I believe it will. But I just don't know, since I'm now getting so feeble and old. The cruel master had his eyes on me, and sometimes he would whip me as relentlessly as I cried out and said, "My sweet God, please, do not let him hurt me." No, it was not a good life at all, but it was all that I had since I was a lad and a slave in the land of in the land of Egypt, at such a perilous time. We worked all day and into the night for a man we called the Pharaoh of the land. Many thought he was a god, but I knew otherwise. To me, he was just another tyrant, and also just a man. You see, I did not think the way others did, but I kept quiet, and in my mind is all I had. My thoughts could not be deprived. I knew the truth, and it was all mine. Ramses was his name, and he had become very old and expected his building to be built on the back all of us poor souls. Every day it was getting a bit taller. In the quest to build this monument, we lost all of our hope. We were becoming all a sack of bones. He wanted us to finish fast, this because he was about to die and wanted to be buried in style near the river we call the Nile. The Pharaoh would be modified like most of the grand leaders of the land in what we had come to be known as the Valley of the Kings. At the time it was more serene. In this special place that we laid many a man to rest, there was lots of sand, and the sun with its deadly rays rained deadly heat at us all day. A place to hide all of their secrets in this building we called the pyramid, that was built of many heavy stones. We could hardly get them up or move them along. So heavy they were, breaking our backs, and some of us taking a fall every day. More pressure was put on us. There was no one we could trust, and we hardly had the straw to make the bricks. We were completely at a loss. We did not have a clue what to do, keep working. What else can I say? We had lost all of our faith. One day a man came out of the blue. He came to us with the tale of our past. Moses was his name, and he was there to remind us we were once a proud people called the Hebrews. He talked of olden times and how God had granted us to be his people. chosen, and it was time to deliver the weak and the feeble. Many of us had a fright. We thought this would make things worse for us, and our religion was so far in the past, many just plain forgot. We were so afraid of any change of any kind. But we listened just the same to this new man that came to us from the desert heat and rain. He came before the Pharaoh and told him he must set his people free. You see, he and the Pharaoh had history. They were raised as brothers. One was good and one was worse, so very bad, and one had all the power now. The Pharaoh let out a big laugh, and Moses, the man, grew angry. He was very mad, and showed him a thing or two in that place that he once knew. It took a while, but finally the Pharaoh understood. Moses talked of plagues that would come, and how much the people of Egypt would suffer once they were sent, but Pharaoh did not care or even cave. He simply did not believe. Even when Moses turned the stick into a snake, Pharaoh's magician did the same. Many more miracles were performed. One was locusts and frogs, and then he turned the Nile River blood red. By now the Pharaoh had begun to get scared. The last straw was an awful blow. Moses sent the last of the plagues, the one that killed all of Egypt's firstborn. Even the Pharaoh's own son went down with a thump, and now all his leaders could do was finally give up and let the Hebrew slaves go. For them, it was time to rejoice. God remembered his people on that day so very long ago. They left the world behind into the desert with its fine sand. Many more things occur. One was the parting of the sea, and now the chariots of the pharaohs went into his turbulent sea. If you take a dive, they are still there. You see, Ramses could not take the loss, so he hurried his men to kill the Hebrews before they had a chance to cross this blue sea on this day. All this is told in a book called the Bible. Maybe you know about it. If you don't, then try to find it. Many a fine tale, but my favorite is Moses and how on that long ago day freed the Hebrew people once and for all. Boy, that was a mouthful. 8 minutes. Sorry.